All right, guys, we are here at Fender Garage in Gilbert, Arizona. I'm Jason. I'm the host of this show. Oh, wait, actually, it's not a show. But we're actually just going to talk about a really cool truck right here. And this is a 1968 Ford F100, believe it or not. And this thing's been completely redone, top to bottom. Every little detail has been thought about, and it's pretty badass. And I want to kind of go over some of the details. So if you just kind of generally take a look at it, it's this really dark, burgundy brandy wine. Like, it's super dark. It almost starts to turn brown. Why does it turn brown? Well, we kind of got this brown, bronze, goldish looking trim on it, and because of that, it actually kind of starts to cast a little bit of a brownish shadow into it. It looks really cool, especially with these titanium wheels right here. You take a look at these. Those are pretty sweet. Nice Schott wheels, beautiful looking wheels. So they fit real nicely, tucked in there, super tight. The truck sits just, you know, if you look right here, I mean, that's not very much. About 5.5 inches roughly is what we're hitting right about there. So it's running low. So we got this kind of tucked in just a little bit, right? So when we turn corner to corner, we're not gonna rub, and we got plenty of clearance and a lot of room under there. So another little thing to kind of take a look at this, like they call this a bump side, right? Because this bumps out. And oftentimes there would be like a small piece of molding, or there would be a giant piece of molding in the later years that would cover the whole thing and would bump it out even further. Or if you had a really base model, there'd be no molding. So what we kind of like is we took a base model look, but we kind of pointed this, and we really worked hard to make sure that this had a nice crisp line. So when you look down the entire truck, that is like, we actually use a laser. So when we put all this together and we do all the body work in the body shop, we actually use lasers to make sure it's laser straight. When we final assembly, it looks that good. So pretty sweet. But let's look under the hood, because honestly, as beautiful as it looks, you know, we want to check it out. So we got some really cool, intricate hood scoops in here. Probably never do it again, I'll be honest with you. That was, man, every time you try to cut and weld into these old hoods, a lot of stuff happens. I think this is probably our third hood. It took 3 times, several different people trying it. We finally figured it out and it's done, but it looks pretty cool. Nice little louvers right there. All right, so under the hood, we actually have a really nice Gen 3 Coyote motor. You got a Whipple 3.0 supercharger. You've got your master cylinder, your brake booster. This is a manual, and so we've got a little bit of a clutch reservoir right here. We've got our cold air intake. We've got this massive filter right here, our MAF sensor. We've got some breather ports in here, our Wizard radiator that's been completely Cerakoted, nice and dark. Everything is just black underneath here. Now, under the hood, I like a nice satin look. I've seen a lot of people do it. I think it looks really attractive. It softens it up a little bit, and really looks good, and especially these burgundy colors, it really looks sharp. You can kind of see where we've got this grill kind of bolted in here. Lets a little bit of the heat out, more than anything, as we're trying to let heat out. Obviously, air is not blowing into it, which would be nice to cool it, but for us, we want to make sure we're creating a little bit of a vacuum so that heat can escape. Anytime you kind of sheet metal everything in, you start to trap more and more heat, and so this allows us to alleviate some of that. So there's our condensers tucked in here. We got our heat exchanger that we use. It's an Edelbrock heat exchanger, and we've got it barely tucked in. There's just not a lot of room because the grill kind of slants back. There really just isn't a ton of room to put anything in there, but you know, we just squeezed it in there. Of course, it comes already powder coated black, and so it kind of disappears. We did keep the original bars right here though painted black. I don't know if you can see that. We kept everything else that kind of a bronze gold color, but then we kept those nice and black. So I don't know, it's a look thing, right? You just try to change it up a little bit. And then really cool, we got these really nice hood hinges. They've all been Cerakoted. That's what's holding our hood up, because obviously that's where the inner fenders would have mounted, but we've had to change everything and modify it to get more space, and so we had to come up with a new design. So we have these available for $67.72, and very soon to be on the website will be $73 to $79. You can just kind of see, I mean, look at this. Like this is nothing. And you can just kind of take a look at my hand. Like, this is just super, really effortlessly. Like, this thing just goes up so nice that it's nicer than my actual brand new F250. It's that nice. It's just that good quality product. We'll talk about some of the other little details. Of course, we've got a really cool air vent that does let air come through here. It's more aesthetics. I suppose it does provide a little bit of cooling for the back brakes a little bit, but I'm not sure how much they're getting, but it's mostly aesthetics. And then of course we got our bumper painted that same color, and we've got this here. And then you can see these really cool lights. We actually sell these lights on our website. Just a nice, simple, clean little LED light. Since we're not using a lot of bezels and stuff and trim, we didn't really want to have a big giant bezel there, so we designed that. We can pull this down, we can take a look here, and then you can see, we'll finish these up, but these are some charge ports, and there'll be some cables you can just put in there and keep it simple. This is our battery disconnect if you needed it, but it's also a breaker as well. It's a 200 amp waterproof Busman breaker, so pretty cool. But let's take a look inside. We're just working on finishing up the interior. We've got the steering wheel we haven't put on yet. It's a nice Spark steering wheel, but we didn't put it on because one thing I've learned is mechanics don't have very clean hands. And so sometimes they touch them and they make them messy. And so we kind of hold off putting them on as much as we can. So we're just finishing up this really cool Relicate interior. Take a look at it. We've got these like 3 stripes here which coincide with the interior. So we kind of complemented that. Of course, we got a nice billet piece right here, a really nice armrest. And these are our door panels that you can have done like in our upholstery kits. These are exact same door panels. We've customized them a little bit just to be a little bit nicer for the build, but you know, we, again, the same concept and design, and it works real great. We've got an AC valance right here that we've put in. And I think Spencer the other day talked about this part right here that we've made, that this is original part that comes with your steering column, and then you got the bracket, but in the 6772, this is just all open and it looks terrible. And so we've actually made this part here, and you can then paint this black and it just kind of covers this up. And then of course we've got our little valance that hits here. We've got these nice seats here. They're powered, but we don't have it on, so it doesn't work. We've got seat belts. That'll be a 3-point harness seat belt in here. You've got lumbar control and everything. Then we do have 10-inch Focal subs in the back. And then they've got this really cool console that they're working on here. So it's a manual, so the shifter will be right here. They've got to put that back in, but they were Cerakoting the shifter actually. So it'll be black with a black boot. And then this will be a phone charger right here, and then we'll have some cup holders built in here, a nice little armrest with a little shallow storage compartment for, you know, miscellaneous items. There's also a USB-C and USB charge port right here. And so all that is connected also to his retro sound stereo system. So we didn't put a big stereo in this one. As far as the display, wanted to go a little bit more of a kind of a stockish look to a degree, but very upgraded stock look. So check out this little thing right here. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. This little guy right here, can you see this? Kind of. Yeah, it's modern, but if you're driving and it starts to go dark, that will actually turn your headlights on automatic. So it's an automatic headlight controls, so you're never gonna be without headlights on. So if you forget to do it, they'll always come on for you. Yeah, super cool. Everything's been perfectly fit, perfectly gapped. We're basically really just, I don't know, maybe a week away. We've already done some tuning on it. This thing runs like a machine. It's built to be driven. This thing really, with the supercharger, a 6-speed Tremec Magnum transmission in it, this thing really gets after it pretty good. Very fast, plenty of power, looks good, runs good, handles good. You got sway bars up in front, sitting on a Porterbuilt chassis, guys. It doesn't get any better than that. If you're thinking about building a truck and you want to build a nice truck, or maybe, which is like, this is kind of what we call our designer series trucks, where guys come in and say, hey, I want to build a truck, but I want to build something that's a little bit different than what everybody else has. This is our designer series. If you want to build something like, hey, I got a cool truck, I don't want to spend a ton of money on it, but I know I want to buy a new chassis, I want it to ride and handle well, I don't mind patina, then that's really perfect for our revival series, where we kind of revive it and get it back on the road and running well. Super high-end truck, top tier customer. This guy's super awesome. His brother's got a truck that we're going to do a revival series on as soon as we finish this one up. This will debut at SEMA, so if you guys are going to be going to SEMA this year, this will be there. It'll be in the McGuire's outside booth. We're pretty proud to be able to go to SEMA. As you know, it's getting harder and harder to go to SEMA these days. A lot of vendors are kind of dropping out and it's harder to get spots. And so we're still finding a few spots here and there, but really excited to be able to take this one to SEMA. So with that, we're going to close on this one. Definitely stay tuned. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, go to our Facebook, follow us there, like, subscribe, and we'll keep you updated. We also are launching new products. We have about 2 new products a week that we will be launching for you guys to kind of get up to speed on all the new product that's coming out. We got a ton of stuff that's still coming out. I think we even launched a couple, 2 or 3 this week. So anyways, we're really excited about it. Stay tuned, happy hot rodding. I hope you're enjoying your classic pickup truck, whether it's a Dodge, Ford, Chevy, whatever it is. Have a good time with it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.